This wasn't just another crime scene. This was the kind of murder that made seasoned forensic tech step outside and cry. Even the most hardened crime scene investigator called it the worst thing I've ever seen. But what shocked everyone most was who they arrested. Monday morning, April 14th, Maple Ridge, Wisconsin. Jessica Rowe, 34, a beloved nurse and single mom, didn't show up for work, calls, ignored, text messages, read, but no replies. By 9 a.m., her sister was at her house. The door was unlocked, the coffee pot was on, but Jessica was gone. It took 2 hours for police to find her. She was in the basement, wrapped in a floral bedsheet, her body brutalized beyond recognition. But the most disturbing part, next to her, a handwritten letter, soaked in blood. It read, "I couldn't take the lies anymore." Signed, David. Her ex-husband, David Rowe, was arrested within hours. He had a motive, custody battle. He had history, a restraining order filed just 3 months earlier. And now his name was on the note, written in blood. Case closed. Not quite. Because here's where it gets strange. David's alibi? Rock solid. He was 200 miles away, at a work conference. Security cameras showed him checking in. Cell tower pings backed it up. But the blood on the note was his. Even more bizarre, David had no cuts, no injuries. So how did his blood get on that letter? Then came the bombshell. Forensics found a second set of fingerprints on the letter, and they weren't Jessica's or David's. They belonged to Jessica's new boyfriend, Liam Mercer, the man who gave the eulogy at her funeral, the man who cried the loudest at her vigil. And when police checked security footage from Jessica's street that night, they spotted his car parked outside her house at 1:43 a.m. He told police he hadn't seen her in days, but he was lying. So, what really happened in that basement? Was David framed? Did Liam stage the entire scene? And how did he get David's blood? Because what investigators found next would shatter everything. Jessica Rowe was found murdered, her ex-husband's name written in blood, but his alibi airtight. Then, her new boyfriend's fingerprints were discovered on the letter, and his car caught on camera outside her house. Liam Mercer was suddenly the prime suspect. But the next twist, no one saw it coming. Detectives brought Liam in for questioning. At first, he denied everything. Then, after 8 hours of silence, he cracked. He admitted he'd been at Jessica's house, but claimed they just argued. Said she was alive when I left. But there was one massive problem. Her time of death, 1:52 a.m., just 9 minutes after his car was spotted. Coincidence? The next forensic report came in. The blood on the letter? It was David's, but it had been frozen. Yeah, frozen. Someone had taken blood from David, stored it, then planted it at the crime scene. But who would do that? Investigators found an empty medical vial in Jessica's bathroom. Guess who had access to medical supplies? Jessica. And Liam. He used to work at a private rehab clinic until he was fired for stealing morphine and syringes. Detectives got a warrant for Liam's laptop, and buried in a deleted folder, a draft confession letter. It was titled, "What He Did to Me," but it wasn't about David. It was written as if from Jessica, framing David for abuse, inventing attacks that never happened. And at the bottom, there was a chilling line. "Now, the world will believe what I want them to. But he never sent it, he deleted it. Because he had another plan." Liam didn't just want Jessica gone, he wanted David to burn for it. Investigators believe he broke into Jessica's home after midnight. They argue she threatened to go to the police, and that's when he snapped. They believe he stabbed her, then smeared David's frozen blood onto the note, planted it to look like a jealous ex-husband had killed her. He left, wiped everything down, but missed one fingerprint on the basement door. Liam was arrested, charged with first-degree murder and obstruction of justice, but in court, he pled not guilty, and then, he dropped a new bombshell. He claimed Jessica wasn't the target, she was the cover-up. Who was the real victim meant to be? Jessica Rowe was murdered in her basement. A blood-soaked letter pointed to her ex-husband David, but it was a setup. Her boyfriend, Liam Mercer, staged it all. Frozen blood, fake abuse letters, a forged scene. But now, Facing trial for murder, Liam says Jessica wasn't the real target. So who was? Liam sat stone-faced in court. Then, without warning, he turned to the judge and said, Jessica wasn't supposed to be there. The plan was for David to walk into that basement and never come out. The courtroom, dead silent. This wasn't just a murder. It was meant to be an execution. According to Liam, he knew Jessica's routine. Knew when she'd leave the house unlocked. He waited until she went to bed and planned to lure David there using Jessica's phone. A fake message, come over. We need to talk. It's about Emily. Emily, their daughter. The one thing David would never ignore. But Jessica woke up. She caught Liam in the act, and that sealed her fate. Investigators then made a horrifying discovery. Liam wasn't just trying to frame David. He wanted custody of Emily. Police found court documents in Liam's apartment. Pre-filled custody petitions. With his name on them, he thought if David was convicted, and Jessica was gone, he could claim guardianship. And David's blood was taken from an old syringe Jessica used to collect samples for a DNA test years ago. She'd kept it in a home freezer to prove paternity during the custody battle. Liam found it, used it, planted it. Weeks before the trial, Liam wrote a letter from jail. They never would have believed me if I just told them the truth. I had to make them see it, feel it. I was never the monster. I just cleaned up the mess she made. What mess? What did Jessica make? The letter ends cryptically. You should dig deeper. Jessica had secrets. And I'm not the only one who wanted her gone. Detectives reopened 2 cold cases tied to Jessica's past, both involving former patients, and both ended in suspicious deaths. Now, police are wondering, was Jessica hiding something darker? And is it possible Liam wasn't working alone? Liam Mercer is in jail, charged with Jessica Rowe's murder, but his final jailhouse letter left one chilling message. Jessica had secrets. I'm not the only one who wanted her gone. At first, police dismissed it as manipulation. Then they checked her past, and everything changed. 5 years earlier, Jessica worked at Briar Creek Recovery Center, a luxury rehab facility in upstate Wisconsin. A patient, Tina Caldwell, 26, died of a fentanyl overdose just hours after completing treatment. It was ruled accidental, but in the original report, something stood out. The nurse on duty that night, Jessica Rowe, and even more suspicious, Jessica was never interviewed. She'd taken emergency leave the next day, and Liam worked there too. A year after Tina's death, another strange incident. Dr. Caleb Voss, a licensed therapist at the same rehab center, vanished without a trace. No struggle, no goodbye, just gone. The last person to book an appointment with him, Jessica Rowe. And guess who filed the missing persons report? Liam. During a second search of Liam's apartment, detectives found a hidden USB drive labeled, "For when they find me." Inside, encrypted files, photos, emails, personal documents. One file, dated a year before Jessica's death, was titled, "Insurance, Custody, and Clean Slates." It outlined 3 things. A life insurance policy in Jessica's name. A list of obstacles to full custody of Emily, a timeline ending in April. But it wasn't just Liam's plan. Another name appeared multiple times. Aid. Who was Aid? A silent partner? An accomplice? Investigators dug deeper. Turns out, Tina Caldwell, the overdose victim, had filed a complaint about Dr. Voss accusing him of abuse and medical misconduct. The complaint was mysteriously closed without action. Who was the mediator between Tina and Dr. Voss? Jessica. Police now believe Jessica may have helped cover up the complaint, and when guilt caught up with her, someone decided to silence her. But was Liam acting alone, or was Aid behind it all? Liam says he'll talk, but only under one condition. He wants immunity, and he wants to name names. Because he says Aid isn't just someone he knew, it is someone still working inside the system. Someone dangerous, and someone very, very close to Jessica. Liam Mercer is behind bars, charged with the murder of Jessica Rowe, but the case is far from over. He claims he didn't act alone. He says someone else helped him plan everything. Someone with access. someone with power, someone he calls aid. Now, he's ready to talk. Liam's lawyer negotiated a conditional immunity deal, not full protection, but reduced sentencing if his testimony leads to another arrest. In a closed-door interview, Liam finally said it. Aid is Angela Duvall. Angela Duvall, Jessica's best friend, fellow nurse, and shockingly, Emily's godmother. Angela Duvall, 35, nurse supervisor at Briar Creek, no criminal record, highly respected, but beneath that perfect image, a long paper trail. She was present during Tina Caldwell's overdose. She signed off on the missing complaint against Dr. Voss. And she had a joint savings account with Jessica, something police never noticed. Then came the kicker. Angela was named as the secondary beneficiary on Jessica's life insurance. Why would a friend be listed after Liam, but before Jessica's own daughter? Liam tells detectives this wasn't just a murder, it was a plan months in the making. Angela was in debt. Jessica knew too much about Tina's overdose. And both women had secrets about Dr. Voss. According to Liam, Angela said Jessica was cracking. She was going to the board, going to expose all of us. She had to be stopped. But Liam wanted more than silence. He wanted David out of the picture. He wanted Emily. Angela agreed to help frame her. If Liam made Jessica disappear, and in return, Angela would cash out the policy. Police moved fast. Angela Duvall was arrested at her home at 6:03 a.m. Inside her closet, they found the original burner phone used to send David the fake text, several syringes matching the brand Jessica used, and a journal. In it, a single line repeated 12 times. We were supposed to be free. We were supposed to be free. We were supposed to be free. Angela now faces charges of conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, and obstruction of justice. But Liam, he's asking for a new deal. Because he says Angela wasn't the one who started this, it was Jessica. He claims Jessica made the first cover-up. Jessica forged the original complaint against Dr. Voss, and everything that followed was to protect herself. Now, the question is, was Jessica a victim, or the mastermind behind it all? Jessica Rowe was the victim of a brutal murder, but now, two people sit in jail because of it. Her boyfriend, Liam Mercer, and her best friend, Angela Duvall. Each claims the other pulled the strings, and both say the same thing. It all started with Jessica. Now, for the first time, investigators pull back the final curtain. 2 months before Jessica's death, she requested a full audit of Briar Creek Recovery Center's patient records. The reason? Inconsistencies in medication logs, signed by staff who weren't on duty. And guess whose names showed up most? Angela, Liam, and Jessica herself. She had forged signatures, approved unsanctioned drug transfers, and made patient notes for sessions that never happened. Why, honey? An internal memo from a whistleblower revealed that Jessica had been funneling tens of thousands through a fake billing scheme, along with Angela and Liam. But something changed. Jessica started meeting secretly with hospital board members. She was compiling evidence, preparing to turn the others in. Her diary revealed a crucial entry. If I come forward, I lose everything. But if I stay silent, people will keep dying. She chose to go clean. But it was too late. Liam found the files. Angela read the email drafts. The people who once conspired with her now conspired to silence her. April 14th. Jessica didn't invite Liam over. She was preparing to submit her report the next morning. Liam broke in. Angela was parked a block away, waiting. The plan was set. Jessica would die. David would take the fall. Angela would collect the insurance. Liam would get the daughter. Clean. Fast. Final. But Jessica fought back, and in that moment, everything unraveled. Liam Mercer, convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit fraud, and child endangerment, sentenced to life without parole. Angela Duvall, convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, and obstruction of justice, sentenced to 43 years. Neither showed remorse. Neither claimed responsibility. Each blamed the other and Jessica. So, was Jessica innocent? No, she wasn't. She helped cover up crimes. she protected predators, and for a while, she benefited from it. But in the end, she tried to make it right, and paid with her life. As for Emily, she now lives with relatives, far from the house, the headlines, and the horror. She may never know the full truth. But one thing is certain, justice wasn't clean, never is. In memory of the lives lost and the voices silenced by silence itself. Thank you for following this series. Share your theory in the comments. Subscribe, share, and like for future case deep dives. This story might be closed, but the questions are still wide open.